Hello, everybody. Welcome to the John Carpenter Speedway Spares Virtual Skid 6 tonight. And it's in aid of the wonderful, brilliant Speedway Riders Benevolent Fund. So thank you, everybody who has already donated on our text line. Text SRBF no info if you don't want to hear about what the Speedway Riders Benevolent Fund are doing, or text SRBF to 70085 to donate £5, and of course your text will cost you £5 plus a standard rate message. So if you can do it, keep doing it during the show tonight, and let's have a great time. Well, tonight we're going to introduce two real stars. One of them will be the VTM of the Cradley West Midlands Valeting and Detailing Services, Heathens, and the other one will be for the Coventry Nuneaton Speedway Supporters Club Bees. And so, without further ado, I'm going to ask our maestro, Andy Hague from Speedway Portal, to do some of his computer wizardry and bring in Garry Stead. Garry Stead, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Excellent.
How you doing?
Very good, thank you, sir. Welcome to Virtual Skid. You all right?
Yeah, very well. Thanks very much. Yeah, looking forward to the virtual speedway. It's going to be great.
You ready to team manage the Cradley Heathens tonight?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's something that took me quite a long time to get involved with. It's about 30 years. So let's crack on.
I can see a set of Kevlars in the background. Yeah, looking good there, mate. Well,
Cheers.
I'm going to bring in another good friend of ours, good friend of Speedway as well, and he's going to be managing tonight the Coventry Bees. And I'm going to ask Andy to do some magic. It's Adam Roynon. Come on in. Adam, welcome to Virtual Skid. You all right?
How you doing? You okay?
Yeah, very good, very good. And so you're now ready to manage the Coventry Bees tonight, right?
Certainly am. Yeah, ready to take on the task. I'm looking forward to it.
And of course, it's all in aid of the Speedway Riders Benevolent Fund. And there, the text messages once again. Don't worry, Andy will be putting it up all night. If you can send us a text and donate a £5, we'll really appreciate that. And you know, we've got a list as long as our arm before I go through the rules for tonight and people to thank. First of all, John Carpenter from John Carpenter Speedway Spares. Thank you for sponsoring the meeting tonight. And also Jan Steckman from Classic Speedway Videos. Without Jan, we wouldn't be able to do this. He's kindly donated 4 DVDs to us, which we've used, and that will also be a prize tonight. So if you're in the chat room, we've got 2 fantastic prizes for you. One is the 4 DVDs, as I said, and the second is 2 tickets to the 2021 Ben Fund. So start planning in advance, but you can win them courtesy of the Ben Fund tonight.
Superb.
We also have another one, which we hope to announce at the end of it, when you two will be joined by 1 or 2 lucky people in a Zoom call. And we've been asking for blind donations for that all week. So hopefully that should have come in, and then we can have a chat and you can talk to them about this experience and, of course, your Speedway career. Okay, so down to the rules. So it's the Cradley West Midlands Valeting and Detailing Services Heathens versus the Coventry Nuneaton Speedway Supporters Bees, Club Supporters Bees. And here are the rules. So we have taken 4 Speedway meetings from Cradley at home against Coventry. That gives us 60 Speedway races. And Andy has done his computer wizardry and mumbled them up into an order which gives you two the choice of A, B, C or D for each heat. So heat 1, A, B, C or D, and then we run whichever one you say. Okay? Same as normal Speedway, 15 races to decide the winner. We do have a tactical substitution rule here, in that if you fall 6 points behind, you can decide, and Andy will remind you, whether you want to hear your team pairings or the opposition team pairings. And you can make the choice of which heat you choose, whichever one you think is going to give you the advantage for that particular race.
Brilliant.
Understand that? Okay,
Yeah.
That's it on the rule front. So we're going to start off with a really simple question, and I just want you to shout out your name. Okay, not the answer, your name. And then I'll be handing you over to Andy and going into the chat room. So, Who won this year's Ben Fund?
Adam.
Adam.
Yeah, it's Danny King.
Well done, Adam. So Danny King, So Adam, you can go first, and you will get the choice of A, B, C, or D on heat number 1. Okay?
Mate, you didn't need to lose them, did you? You didn't need to use them. You were out at the start before me. Oh, man.
Don't forget, keep texting either Speedway Rider Benevolent for no info or SRBF to 70085. Let's get them fivers coming through the door. I know that we've already raised £1,000 just from the meeting today, and thanks everybody who donated their funds to this, because it's a great cause, and the pair of you have received support from them throughout the years, and we're very proud, me in particular, to have you both here tonight. So without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to the maestro, who's going to take over from now, and I will see you after the meeting, when one of you will be screaming from the ceiling and the other one will be a little bit chinny. Have a great time.
Cheers, boys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
So you've heard it all from Barry then. We have got Cradley versus Coventry. And what a pairing we've got in the team manager front tonight. Garry, Stead and Adam Roynon. And of course tonight is all about the Speedway Riders Benevolent Fund as well. So we're going to raise some great money. We're going to have some good laughs, great Speedway action from the 90s. Thanks to Jan Steckman at Classic Speedway Video. So Adam, you look like you're ready for business here with this Kevlar suit.
I am. I've got the tie on for the business, but I'm ready to race.
He's ready to race. And you've got your gloves on there, have you, Garry?
Definitely, yeah. Only one, though, just for the trapper. Ready to go.
And something a little bit different tonight, guys, as well, is right at the end of this meeting, each one of you is going to choose your rider of the night from your team. Thanks to Wessex Marine, who have sponsored that as well. More money going to the Ben Fund, of course. But for now, we are going to head into heat number 1 that is in memory of the Coventry and Isle of Wight fan Eileen Shepherd. Heat number 1 coming up. Adam, you got A, B, C or D? Which one do you want?
Start alphabetically. I'll start with A, please.
Okay, starting with A in heat number 1. We're going to go way back now, 1992, to the Gold Cup North match. In red, you've got Greg Hancock and Simon Cross. And against them, you've got Tommy Knudsen and Brian Anderson for Coventry.
Oh, heck.
So before we go any further, I've got to come to Garry Stead here. Garry, Greg Hancock, Simon Cross for Cradley. What do you think?
Great pairing, always rode with both of them guys a long time ago. But I think them two could do pretty well there. So I'm saying it could be a 3-3 to start with.
Okay, well, Garry thinks a 3-3. He's happy with his pairing. Tommy Knudsen, Brian Anderson. What do you think then, Adam?
I'm gonna throw out there. I'm gonna say 4-2 to the Bees. Just to start with a winning heat.
He wants to start off with a win. Okay, well, just before we head in there, once again, just to reiterate what Barry said earlier on, and you know what? Tonight, it's all for a great cause, so I make no excuses for the fact that we're going to be plugging this all the way through tonight. You've got that text number there on screen, just £5, and it will go a long way to help the Speedway Riders Benevolent Fund. So do send in your texts. This is heat number 1.
Coventry picked up 3 points then to Cradley's 2. Well, what's
Greg Hancock there and my old friend there, Simon.
We'll find out both here and at Brandon tonight. From the inside then, it's Greg
Hancock.
Hancock.
Got the inside here.
Simon Cross and Brian Anderson. And Simon Cross will be looking
to
repeat the form he showed round here on Saturday night.
Greg's made a good start there.
Oh, he's pushed him out wide.
Well, Simon
looks like
very wide on that first corner.
Cross has really got
the best
caught up there.
Tommy
It looks
and
wet.
Simon Cross
Slippy.
had a real old battle.
It looks very wet.
Came off worse from
Hancock's out in front, as he's been accustomed to show up until this year.
Riders have pushed through for second and
It's making
third
it look
position,
just so easy, isn't he?
Yeah,
gaps opened up between
also
all four
easy.
riders at the moment.
It's going to be a 3-3. What you predicted, Garry?
Yeah, I thought around that, but can't see what's going on behind.
Oh, he's popping a wheelie down the straight there.
It's anyone's race other than him gone.
Fairly well filled in, and that's what's happened to Simon Cross.
Are you sure
Cross
about
is
that?
struggling at the back.
He's sure.
Yeah, Cross is struggling there, isn't he?
picked up 13
Oh, look at the crowd.
from 5 starts.
Bloody hell, that was good.
On Saturday night against Kings Lynn, but he's opening right tonight.
Oh, look at that.
But he's part
Nice
of Greg
win
Hancock.
for Greg there.
Still nice and clean.
We
because
packed
he's
we
led
packed
from
in
start
the
out
second
to
and
pick
third
up the
there,
win
so
for
3-3. We'll take a draw. We'll take a
Second
draw,
and
Heath.
third to share the race, and Simon Cross was never able to recover.
Okay, then we come back into the room then after heat number 1. Well, guys, Garry, you called it. Your experience coming to the fore there, 3-3 in that one. And as you said, looked a bit wet.
Yeah, definitely wet. It was just one of those, made the start, didn't he, off of gate 1, and he was gone. Shame about Crossy at the back there, though. He won't be happy about that.
That's right. Well, that was heat number 1, 3-3 there. We're going to move on now straight away to heat number 2, sponsored by Lesley and Lesley. So we do thank them for their sponsorship there. We're going to move over to Garry. A, B, C, or D?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for start with an A and see how we get on. Yeah.
For A, we are going back to British League match here in 1995. Normally, Heat 2s are the reserves here. So we have got, for Cradley, John Wilson and Stephen Knott versus Sean Tacey and Darren Spicer. I'm going to come to Adam first of all. Sean Tacey, not that long ago he was racing himself, but are you familiar with the other riders there?
Yeah, I've heard the name. I don't know him other than that. I know Tacey's he's known for his gating, or he always wanted to be a bit of a trapper. So I'd like for him to pop out the start here. And yeah, as I've not known who the other guy is too well, I'll go for a 3-3 here with hopefully Tacey taking the win.
3-3 for you. Now, Garry, what about yourself? Do you know those guys?
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of them, but obviously it's a hard pairing. I think Tace, is probably the most experienced at that time, so they're going to be above them, against them a little bit, but it can go both ways. So let's just keep the fingers crossed for a good start and see how we go.
Okay, well, before we head into heat number 2, then John Carpenter, of course, the meeting sponsor tonight. We thank John very, very much for his sponsorship here. It's down to these guys that make these virtual skids happen. So thanks ever so much for that, and we'll see you back at trackside once we're back racing again. Guys, don't forget, time to text. Just £5 of your money goes a long way for these guys. So check out the logo on the screen there and send in your texts. This is heat number 2.
Well, Darren Spicer and
Heat 2, Garry.
both started their
Yeah, it's going to be interesting one, this, actually.
One of them with Ipswich.
I'm hoping Tacey makes a trademark start.
Darren Spicer, who was the Norfolk club.
Yeah, he's got a good start position there.
Now they find themselves at Coventry. Here we go with heat 2.
Look at that, and they're off.
Oh, he's off. Bit of barge into the first turn.
You're not kidding. Oh, he's out there. Tacey's made a good start there.
Forced his way through.
He's off.
Was pushed wide on the first bend, and he's at the back.
I did think that he would be
to the Bs at the moment.
This is good for the Bs though. 4-2. This is looking well.
He's off like a good one here. He's leaving my Cradley boys behind here. Not happy.
Tacey's looking really well.
Not out of it yet.
Yeah, we can't even see him. He's that far in front.
Looks like he's riding an old Thomas Golov bike with that front wheel spoiler or whatever.
Yeah, very early. 95. Early days. Lay down.
Guy's checked out, hasn't he?
Oh, man.
As long as the third place guy for the B sticks in there and gets a 4-2, then we'll be happy with that.
Just on the back wheel there of Darren Spicer.
Yeah, it looks like you.
No, he's keeping it on the outside.
It's close. It's close.
Maybe another lap or two he needed there.
Yeah.
But up front, Darren Spicer
held on. I like that. Hold on. We'll take that. We'll take that for heat 2.
That was heat 2. Coventry take a 2-point advantage then. 7 plays 5.
Can't believe it, Ads. Can't believe it.
He can't believe it, but Adam, you can. Your boys are in front.
Yeah, I didn't know too much about the other Coventry reserve there, but Tacey ripped out the start and he checked out, which was he did it in very nice fashion. He he looked good. He looked the rider that I knew of him when I first started. So yeah, well happy with that.
And Garry, 2 points down now. You're going to want to bounce back. You've been in tough situations before within Speedway, so you know what it's like to start to lose the grip a bit. So you're going to be keen to get back on top again.
Yeah, it's always difficult, you know, when you've got a reserve pairings, you know. But yeah, we've just got to keep going forward. We've got some great riders in the team, so just keep plugging away and keep positive. That's what it's all about.
We are now going to head into heat number 3 then. Becky, Carroll, we thank you very much for your sponsorship of heat number 3. Back to Adam. 2 points up, A, B, C or D for heat number 3?
I'm going to go with B this time, please.
Going for B, British League A meeting back in 1993. We got some riders here for you. For Cradley, we've got Gert Hamburg, here's a name, and Morton Anderson. And how about this for the Coventry Bees? It is Simon Wigg and Brian Anderson. Over to Garry, you're pairing Gert Hamburg, Morton Anderson, but also coming up against Simon Wigg and Brian Anderson. Bit of a pairing, that.
It's a tough one. Gert obviously was one of the I think he was under 21 champion at the time, a few years ago. So he looked pretty good, and Anderson as well, up and coming kid. So yeah, that's going to be tough. But against Wiggy, well, anything can happen. We've just got to keep the throttle on, you know, and let's try and push forward a little bit. We're behind here, so we've just got to dig in hard, you know.
Got to say, Adam, this era, to be able to revisit some of these matches in these eras with some of these names that were involved in these matches. I mean, Simon Wigg, just fantastic to watch these guys ride again.
Oh, it's phenomenal, you know, like since lockdown's been on and things, I've managed to go back and watch meetings of the SDAs and watching riders like Simon Wigg in action. It's been orgasmic. It's been brilliant to watch. So yeah, looking forward to this one.
And of course, this wouldn't be possible without classic Speedway videos giving us that footage to be able to use tonight. So let's move on then. Heat number 3. Let's find out what the result is.
Ex-captain Simon Wigg.
Fantastic heat is that. Simon Wigg,
So
Brian
far,
Anderson. We're really against it here. But we've got a good gate, so hopefully we can do something. Here we go.
Quickly, if they're not going to let Coventry pull away, let's see if they can do that in heat number 3.
Oh, he held them long there. Tapes fly.
What a start.
It's a ripper start from the Bees.
Oh my God.
They're away and gone.
Can't believe it. Come on, we need Gert to get up there.
Wiggy's gone wide there. Oh, that's not what I wanted to see.
We've got Gert coming through there, so we're just looking, hoping that Anderson can do something here from behind. Wiggy's not looking himself.
No, he's not. He needs to. I don't think the track's to his liking, but Brian, he's checked out in front. He's found the cell pretty early doors, so that's good from the Bees' point of view. And another 4-2 on the scores, so that's looking well for us.
Yeah, it's very difficult by the look of it. Very slick and wet. It's almost as though you've got to make a really good start, which they have done.
So it looks as though it's going to be 3 heat advantages to Coventry.
Luckily, we had a trapper off gear 1 there, and Brian Anderson takes the checkered flag. Easy does it.
It's a good job that I wasn't in that heat. I'd have still been at the back there with my bad hands.
Riders are motivated perhaps, and Morton Anderson has not finished the race. He's pulled over.
So another 4-2 to Coventry there. Adam still smiling. I tell you what, Garry, right at the beginning there, it looked like you were going to have a 5-1 against you.
Yeah, but, you know, Gert Hamburg, he was quite a good rider, and he worked really well for Cradley. He got up there, but he was just too far to catch Wiggy. Not a chance that he was going to beat him.
Yeah, and Adam, 4 points up now. Looks like those Kevinars are bringing you some luck.
No, they must be, yeah. 4 points up after 3 heats. We're gonna just keep on that sort of momentum now. Steadying his Heathens can sort of like nip away, but we're just gonna keep plowing on and going for it.
Oh, he started already.
It's early days yet, son. It's early days. You've already got the top on there. You've got the stinger out. We haven't even put our hammer down yet, so
They're loving this fight and talk already before 4 heats have even come to the tapes. Right, before we move on to heat number 4, just want to say that we have been running a competition for the last few days, and you guys are involved in this, of course, that after tonight's meeting, someone out there is going to win a chance to come in and join us on a private Zoom call, and we're all going to talk about the meeting. They can ask you some questions, bits and pieces, and they've been putting in their silent bids during the last few days as well. So for anybody out there that didn't know about this or that have missed your chance, you can still do it. You got up to the start of Heat 10. So all you've got to do, guys, is go to your email client and type in their virtualskid@yahoo.com and put your bid in. That will remain a silent auction bid. And if yours is one of the top ones there, you will win the chance of joining these guys right here in Zoom after the meeting, where you can ask them any question you want. So make sure you put your bids in there. That's great. And also not forgetting our regular competition that's running as well tonight before Heat 10. If you're in the live chat room with Barry there, don't forget to put your meeting prediction score in. At the end of that, all of those that are predicted correctly, you have got a chance of winning 4 DVDs that have been used in tonight's footage, courtesy of Classic Speedway Videos, or 2 tickets to the 2021 Benfund meeting. So make sure you put in your meeting predictions before Heat 10. That was a bit of a mouthful. So let's go on to Heat number 4. We're going to go back to Garry now. It's your choice, A, B, C or D.
I'm going to go for a D this time.
Ooh.
He's going for a D. Okay, we're going to go to 1995, the British League meeting. Your riders are Simon Cross and Stephen Knott. Adam, your riders are Andy Smith and Darren Spicer. So it looks like the 2 reserves coming back out against each other. And, of course, 2 heat leaders there. Garry, Simon Cross, Stephen Knott. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Crossy will obviously do pretty well in this one. Knott, he was quite good when he got out the start. So, again, it's one of those. I'm hoping that we can just share this one. I don't think we'll win the whole heat, but I think the shared heat will be good.
Yeah, Andy Smith, he was a lively character back in the days. So, yeah, hopefully he can make another start for the Bees and lead from the front. And Spicer, if he can pick up some points along the way, then great. But we're up to now, so yeah, just keep it going, bring it on.
Keep it going, of course. Just a little shout out once again for our team sponsors tonight. For Cradley, of course, it is the West Midlands Valeting and Detailing Service. And for the Coventry Bees, it is Nuneaton Speedway Supporters Club. Thanks for your support there.
Up the Bees.
Up the Bees, he says. So, heat number 4, of course, is in memory of the Benfund collector Jeff Paisley. Fantastic to be able to bring this heat to you in his memory.
Pretty well filled in from his first.
Simon Cross for me could be one against with Andy Smith here, I guess.
Yeah. Andy's got gate 4, Crossy gate 3, so see how they get on.
It should be a good start for Crossy, which he has, which is good. Come on, Crossy. And Knott is up there as well, in reserve.
Dear me.
Here we go. Just what we need.
This isn't good. Where's Smudger when you need him? He needs to come kicking and screaming and bring this back in.
I told you, the Stinger's just been deployed and we're starting now. We're going to hammer you.
Don't count them chickens yet, Steady. Or your hammers, whatever you want to count, being a heathen.
Yeah, Knott is struggling a little bit. But he's still carrying on pretty well there. Still wet and
no challenge forthcoming yet from the Bees into the last lap.
It's looking. This race is done for the Bees. This has got to create these numbers written all over it. So
Smudge is having a go.
Yeah, he's left it too late though, hasn't he?
Oh, he's up the inside maybe. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. 5-1 there. That was good. 5-1. That's what we needed.
Brings it back level. That's all right. That's
Come on, Crossy.
Cradley are right back in it then. They've pulled it back. Garry is smiling there. Look at him. All of a sudden, he's turned it round.
Come on. There you go, Adam. I told you, lad. We're getting back in there now. A handsome win there. A handsome win.
Don't count your hammers too much yet. Like I say, just, give it time.
So we're sat at 12 each now. Before we go into the next heat, another shout out here for the Ben Fund, of course, which is what we're doing this for tonight. They help so many riders. But I'd like to come to you, Garry, first of all. We're going to go back and just touch on that time during 2007 where things didn't quite go according to plan. And since then, you've had a very poignant connection with the Ben Fund, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, since the accident in 2007, you know, I've had a lot of help through the Ben Fund, and it was a massive operation, moving me, airlifting me, etc. And, you know, they've continued to support me, not only myself, but lots of other people. So, as I say, it's such a worthy cause, and much of the guys have had small or big amounts of help. So, you know, I can't say any more than it's just such a invaluable thing for us, you know.
We are going to head now into heat number 5, Rentruck. Big sponsor of Speedway. We know that they sponsor Bellevue and also on the Isle of Wight as well. Great to have them on board for the sponsors of heat number 5. Back to Adam. It's your choice. A, B, C or D?
We'll go with C, please.
Going with C for Adam, heat number 5. Right, 1995, we're sticking in that year. For Cradley, we have Billy Hamill and Scott Smith. And for the Bs, we have John Jorgensen and Stuart Robson.
Ooh.
So there's some very familiar names there again. Adam, Stuart Robson, not that long ago he retired, was it?
Yeah, not that long ago. So I don't know whether he classed himself as getting better later on in his career, or he was a young whippersnapper. I wouldn't like to say on that one, but John Jorgensen, he can hold his own. So we'll look for 3-3 in this one.
Garry, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we've got a massive pair in there with Hamill. He was pretty much unbeaten around there, and then you've got the Scud to get that missile going, and hopefully we can get another 5-1 here.
Another 5-1 he wants. He doesn't want too much, does he? He wants to fly away with this. Before we move into heat number 5, guys, you see it on screen there. That is the text number. Only £5. That can go a long way to these riders. So if you're enjoying tonight, you want to get involved in any way you can, please just text into that number and give a little bit back to those riders that entertain us on the terraces. So moving on, this is heat number 5.
Keen to make his mark on today's meeting. He has the inside grid. Billy Hamill's next to him. Jorgensen gate 3, and as I mentioned, Scott Smith
Oh,
the outside.
this is looking great for us in this heat. Looks like we could bomb the lot out.
Away they go. Oh, Jorgensen, he's clamped him. He's clamped Hamill well there.
It's John Jorgensen who gets the best
Yeah,
start.
nice first turn.
Billy Hamill's in pursuit. Scott Smith's third.
Billy's after him, though.
At the back
He's
is
after
Stuart
him.
Robson. Now then, Billy Hamill
I'm
made
sure he
the
is.
right
And Jorgensen didn't get past too much when he hit the front. So, well, like you said, Hamill's is a tenacious rider. He'll be giving it his all for sure.
I don't know where the Scud missile is. I think he must have not had it on
Scott Smith is somewhere behind and not
radar.
pressure at all from Stuart Robson, so all eyes are on those two up front.
Robbo, he must be finding his feet at this stage because he's at the back. But Jorgensen, he's checking out in front. Yeah, he's looking good.
Keeping him at bay at the moment.
Hamill, like he doesn't get beat very often around here. So yeah, it's a great start for Jorgensen to be lowering his colours.
Yeah, he keeps getting stopped coming in the corner, doesn't he? He's a bit slower, isn't he, actually, Jorgensen?
Yeah, a little bit.
But he's still in front.
Yeah, he's a wildly old campaigner, so it's
not what we expected.
That was good.
Not what I expected there, Adam.
Third of the meeting gone now. We've had 5 heats. It is 15 all square. Another close meeting here in Virtual Skidland. But I'm going to come to you, Garry, before we go any further. Cradley Heath, we know that the fans have a real affinity to that track. It was a massive club. It's got so much history behind it as well. You yourself have raced on that track many times.
Yeah, I started in 1988, and, the main people there were Gunderson, Crossy, Pedersen, Hamburg, Scott Smith. And, I obviously started with the young kids in the PJ Junior Dixons. So a lot of good memories there. And, unfortunately, we did lose one of our great riders, Wayne Garrett, which, that was a massive shock for the fans and for the club. And, we have to still keep thinking about guys like him.
On the other side of the corner, I guess, Adam, obviously Coventry now aren't racing either. Certainly put a few laps around there, Brandon Stadium. So it's such a shame these clubs aren't racing.
Massive shame. I moved from up north to 100 yards away from the Coventry Stadium, and that's where I learnt my trade in Speedway with the Bees in the Elite League. And it's a massive shame not being there on a Friday night to enjoy the Speedway, or even at the stadium enjoying the stock cars or whatever the show they put on there. It is a massive shame, but I suppose all good things must come to an end, and that's been one of them.
But they are fighting. We know Jeff Davies has got a great campaign happening, and they are fighting to bring that back as well. So let's hope that the future does turn around for us, and we do see Speedway back at Coventry and, of course, at Cradley. That would be great to get those two names back. But for now, we are in Virtual Skidland, and they are back for tonight, that's for sure. So, heading into heat number 6, very kindly sponsored by Jeff and Linda from Hull. So we thank them for their participation in tonight's meeting. We go back to Garry for your pick, A, B, C or D. Heat number 6, what do you like?
I'm going to go for a C this time.
He's going for a C. We're going to the British League B meeting back in 1994. And your riders, Garry, are Greg Hancock. And I think you just mentioned this one, Scott Smith. And for Coventry, we've got John Jorgensen and Sean Tacey. It's another hard one to call here. It'll be a tight one, isn't it?
I think it'll be a heat advantage for one club, but I wouldn't like to say which one.
Well, we're about to find out. But just before we do, I want to give another shout out to our meeting sponsor tonight, John Carpenter Speedway Spares. Great friend of Speedway up and down the country. Thanks ever so much for your ongoing support, John. And it's great to have you involved with us here at Virtual Skid. So, once again, guys, make sure you get your texts in. £5 to the Ben Fund. It goes a long way. This is heat number 6.
This time, Greg Hancock's got it. It seems to have been good for the Heathens. Not so good for Hans Nielsen in the last one. Can Greg use it to his advantage? Can Scott beat the Flying Reserve? Certainly he was
Heat
beating
6,
most reserves while he was down.
Hancock and Jorgensen battle out with Scott Smith and Sean Tacey, and away they go.
Fly up pretty quickly there.
Yeah, it's looking dark there.
It is looking dark. It is looking dark. Is that
Greg Hancock was well and truly shoved out?
Is that Jorgensen? Is it the front?
Yeah, Jorgensen's in the front there. It actually doesn't look like Jorgensen to me. It looked like Sean Wilson.
Oh, hang on, the Bees are on a 5-1 here. Tacey's made a bit of a ripper as well, looks like.
Heads his captain, and as the
that was tricky to see there for a minute.
At the back last time, the Heathens number 1 is at the back here.
Well, yeah, this is looking really good for the Bees. 5-1.
Left behind here.
Wow, I did not expect this, but I'll take it.
Well,
I just keep thinking that's Sean Wilson in front.
He fought that off, and now he's in a fairly comfortable second, and Greg Hancock can't make up any ground at all.
Right, okay. Well, as long as he's winning the heat, I'm not bothered who it is. As long as he crosses that line in front.
And it looks like the Bees are
Tacey's doing well for me. He's picking a big scalp up here in Hancock. And he punches the air. Love it.
You've just absolutely killed me now, Adam. You've killed us.
Love it.
Killed us, man.
You're up again.
So 5-1 for the Coventry Nuneaton Speedway supporters. Bees there. Adam, 4 points in front. You've got to be happy with your lads there.
I was very happy there. I was happy with Sean Tacey. He must have done a bit of soul searching there and popped out to beat them two, the pair of Cradley there. That was a great heat, and as he crossed the line, he punched the air. It must have been a massive delight to him.
Okay, Garry, back in your racing days there, you're 4 points behind. The lads have just come in. We're getting near the middle of the meeting. What would you be saying to your lads if you were team manager there?
Well, obviously they've got great top men there. So I mean, Hancock will probably be in there, you know, having a good talk with Billy and try to find, you know, the way around things. Obviously, it looks like the youngsters are struggling a little bit from the gate, and I think really the big point is that it's wet, and you know, they're struggling. So I mean, they'll just be doing the best that they can, you know, to do whatever they can to help the young kids. But it's difficult. There's not a lot a team manager can do other than keep speaking to the young kids and try to give them a bit more incentive, you know, to turn the throttle a bit more.
It's really interesting hearing you talk about the young kids there, because of course these meetings were back in the 90s and they're not so young now.
No, definitely not.
They've retired.
That's it. Right. Well, we're going to head off then. Iwade Garage sponsors heat number 7. We thank them very much for getting involved with us. We're back to Adam for your pick of heat number 7, A, B, C or D.
Well, as I've been going order A, B, C, I don't like to take the D, so I'm going to go back to A.
He's going back into A. We're going to head right back to 1992 in the Gold Cup North meeting then. So, for this one, we've got Billy Hamill and Scott Smith. He's back out again. For Coventry, we've got Andy Smith, and here he is again, John Jorgensen.
Oh, I've got the same pairings.
So very, very interesting heat, this one. Andy Smith, John Jorgensen, they never give up.
Ooh.
Kind of got a gator and a chaser there, haven't you?
I have, yeah. It's almost like, in modern day times, like a Heat 15 now, so it's a great lineup. So, just have to hope and pray for this one.
And of course, Garry, former world champion Billy Hamill there and Scott Smith for you.
Yeah, I think, you know, Billy will probably pop out in front here. You know, we're just hoping that Scott can do something here. He struggled earlier on in the meeting, so with a bit of luck he can do something. But it's always tough from a reserve to come in against, you know, the heat leaders.
You hope for Hamill to make the start last time. That didn't go so well, did it?
Well, you know how it is, son. You know, he's a top rider, so.
Oh, I know. He was great, but he's a sponsor of mine in me 2018. So yeah, I hope to win the heat. But from the Beast point of view, I hope that he misses the start.
Oh, split loyalties there. All right then. Well, let's find out what the result of Heat 7 is going to be. Let's head in and watch some racing.
We'll be looking like Rick Miller to recover from that.
We were beaten by Johnny Jorgensen earlier, so let's see what happens here, Adam.
Yeah, Jorgensen. He's off the inside gate there, which might sort of play to his advantage a little bit. They're revving up at the start line. They're off. They're away.
Yeah, Andy's already.
And Smudger. His Smudger who checks out and is gone. I did not see that one coming.
Yeah, we're all right at the moment, though. We've got a 3-3 at the moment going on, so let's see how we get on.
Oh, Andy, he's riding the wheels off that thing. That's Scubble. Jorgensen's putting on the pressure here.
Yeah, Jorgensen's having a go, but yeah, he's not going to do out now. That's it.
Are you sure?
No way that Hamill's not going to let him come by. No chance.
Don't talk too soon. Actually, no. Jorgensen going to catch him from there. Hamill's away.
Hamil just picked up big time.
Oh, he's through. Yes. Well in. Actually, yeah. What a race this is. Backwards and forwards.
Andy Smith then from Scott Smith.
Round and round.
Scott can keep hold of the bike here. Oh, yeah.
Not enough time for that, but he has kept Billy Hamill at the back.
Oh, good win for Smudger there. Andy Smith picking up 3 points.
Andy Smith, good start there.
Brilliant.
Man, he had that race.
Nice 4-2. Lovely, I'll have that.
Scott Smith did well to get round there into second spot.
So that is 7 heats gone, and what classic Speedway we're watching here from Classic Speedway videos. We're seeing some brilliant heats of some of those awesome riders from yesteryear. It is great to see them. However, not quite so great for Garry there, because you only got 2 points out of that, which means you are 6 points down now, and you've just entered tactical territory time. It's all going to start happening now.
Well, definitely. You know, if we get the chance, we will definitely be doing it.
We're going to jump straight in then, straight away. We're going to go into heat number 8, sponsored by Elite Floors. So once again, we thank them for their sponsorship of heat number 8 here at Virtual Skid 6. However, something different, tactical territory now. So basically, Garry, you can choose if you would like to know the 4 pairings of the home riders, i.e. Cradley, or the pairings for the Coventry Bees. Which would you like to know?
I think I want to go for the away.
You want to know the away riders? Oh, this is interesting. Right, here we go then. Heat number 8. The away riders are either Brian Anderson and Sean Tacey, or Brian Anderson and Michael Warren, or Andy Meredith and Chris Clarence,
Okay.
or Stuart Robson and Sean Tacey.
The third pairing. Clarence.
Andy Meredith and Chris Clarence. Your riders for Cradley. He's smiling here. Look at this. This is where the tactical plays off now. All of his experience is coming to the fore, because for the Hammers, going up against Andy Meredith and Chris Clarence is Simon Cross and Scott Smith.
This is looking good for me.
Are you feeling as confident now? Garry, feeling as confident?
I'm confident at home track, yeah, because obviously we've got a heat leader there in Crossy, and Scott Smith again. I know he's been struggling a little bit, but he should be able to. He should be okay against Clarence. I think I think we should win this heat. Hopefully, we get a 5-1 out of this. But we need to pull a few points back.
I don't think Adam's too happy here.
No.
Adam, you're not looking too happy there.
No, I've never heard of the Clarence guy, to be fair. Which could work either way. He might surprise, or he might be tailed off. But Andy Meredith, he knows how to make a good track now. So let's see if he can ride it.
Okay, well, we'll see if he can ride it. But don't forget, guys, those of you that are in the Premier Live chat with Barry right now, you've still got a couple more heats to get your predictions for the prizes and the competition tonight. So make sure you put down in that live chat your predictions of the result of tonight's meeting, and you could win the 4 DVDs that tonight's footage has come from, courtesy of Classic Speedway Videos. Or you could win 2 tickets to the 2021 Ben Fun meeting. So that's all you got to do, is put your predictions in there. We'll see if you're right before Heat 10. And of course, don't forget that text number is on screen. Come on, guys. Get those phones out. Get texting. Let's pop a few pounds in the kiddie for the Ben Fund here, and let's do some good tonight all together. Look at that. They're all texting there, these lads. Right, let's go on then. This is Heat number 8.
Simon Cross. So the Heathens
What do you think about this then,
something back from this one.
Adam?
I can't see it. It doesn't look good, to be fair. But the Bees, they could spring surprise. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping for.
Come on, Scud. Come on, Scud, off the inside.
But a 5-1 maximum here would bring them back to that
gap. Oh, great start for the Heathens.
We've got a good start there.
That's the way it looks at the moment, because for once the Heathens have got a good start.
No, take it away, Steady. This is all yours.
And in Meredith's third.
We need these extra points, Adam. We need them.
Make him look easy.
Yeah, it looks like we've got a good heat win here. Hopefully, Scud can keep going here.
Jakob Olsen in this one.
Andy Meredith's come through.
How about the guy in fourth wipes himself through the fence and we get a rerun, so he can have another crack at it?
Well, I hope not, but Andy Meredith's having a go. Crossy there's having a good look, looking after his partner there, which is what you want to see. Proper Speedway. He's a little bit too fast for Scud though.
before we see Andy Meredith.
No, he looks like he's got this one sewn up, doesn't he?
Yes, just what we needed there. How about that then?
Point deficit is reduced to 5 to 4.
Never mind.
That reverses
More
the
heats to go.
scoreline that Coventry picked up last time out. But
Well, if you ever wanted to know how Garry Stead would do as a team manager, we've just about to find out, because he used his tactical there, and well, a 5-1 for the boys. You got to be happy with that, Garry.
Definitely, a great start there from gate 3 with Crossy there, and Scud just followed. It's a difficult situation there with the track by the look of it. Crossy was having a good look and hoping that it was all right, but I think the track's a little bit unpredictable, and just had to sort of get on with his own business there.
A little bit disappointing for you, Adam. You built up a nice lead there, and he's in one race, he's brought it right back, just 2 points in it.
Disappointing. That's an understatement. Yeah, he took full use of that tactical there, didn't he? Well played, Steady. Yeah, well played. But yeah, it's not over. The bees are going to keep buzzing. Buzz, buzz.
I'll let you have a bit of my pizza in a bit.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Thank you. Was that if I win or lose? Or you win or lose? What happens there?
Well, it's a 50-50. Could be Hawaiian, or it could be sailing on your own, mate.
Right, okay, we're moving on then. Second part of the meeting then, heat number 9, sponsored by SD Timmo Car Sales. Now, I know you guys have been watching these virtual skids, and Spencer Timmo, of course, was victorious in the virtual skid 2 weeks ago. And it's great to have him back involved, and he absolutely loved the experience as well. By the way, guys, you enjoying this?
Great so far. I know Timmo pretty well, rode with him. So it's nice for him to be involved, and even better for him to sponsor something like this. So cheers, Timmo.
Okay, well, just before we go into picking this heat, Adam, the Ben Fund, unfortunately, I witnessed a very big off of yours on the Isle of Wight only a couple of years ago. And, of course, your connection with the Ben Fund as well. So tell us a little bit of how they've helped you during the your years.
It's an unbelievable cause. It's so so well looked after, and it does such a great job for the riders. And if it wasn't for the Ben Fund, there's no way that I would be able to continue my racing, because when times is that you're lying there in your hospital bed, or you're lying at home and you can't do anything, the funds that the Ben Fund aid you with is invaluable. It just helps towards so much, towards living, towards even maintaining or repairing your bike, anything like that. So yeah, and the collections that they have around the tracks throughout the season is a massive help. I'm always shot there with my helmet colour or a bucket to go and help raise some money. So it's an absolute unbelievably great cause. And thanks to the guys that contribute, and thanks to the guys that run it. And yeah, us riders that have needed the service would be lost without it.
And I just want to say, those guys at home, do me a favour right now, pick up your phone, go onto your text app and text in SRBF to 70085, donate £5 plus one standard rate message, and of course you'll be opting in to hear about all of their news and fundraising doing that as well. It helps. It really, really does help. It's helped these two guys that are on screen here that have entertained you on the track. And even tonight, they're entertaining you as well. So the Ben Fan has a big help in that. So just do that for us, guys. Let's do some good together. So having said that, it's back to racing. Heat number 9. We're going to head back to Adam. Your pick, A, B, C, or D.
I want to be able to get tactical territory here. So I want Cravely to do well. So I'm going to go for B. B for B behind.
He's going for B. Okay, we're heading back to the British League B meeting in 1994. The evening meeting. Some names in this one, that's for sure. For Cradley, we've got Peter Narleen and Simon Cross. Good pairing that. And for Coventry, John Jorgensen is right back out again with Justin Elkins.
Ooh, okay.
So some interesting names there. Peter Narling, Simon Cross. You've got to be happy with that, Garry.
Mate, this is engine room pairing. Absolute.
Yeah, I need to make some traps here.
Right, Gary's pretty happy. Adam's not so happy at the moment. We're going to find out how that plays out for heat number 9 then. Come on, guys, let's check in on this one and let's see what the result's going to be.
Could get the Heathens back into the lead if he and his partner Simon Cross can get the drop on Elkins and Jorgensen. Jorgensen himself
hopefully the bees can just pack it in here just to keep him front on the night.
Hancock and Scott Smith in his second
Pairing here.
So he's certainly
Adam, hopefully we can
to
pull some out
Here we go with heat 9.
We're off. Oh yeah, we've made a good start.
Another dark one.
It is, but we've got
It's Narleen who gets the drop.
Narleen in
Good start
front
from Simon Cross, but he's under pressure from the outside from Jorgensen. Now then, can the Heathens get together and shut
Jorgensen's
Jorgensen
having a
out?
go here.
At the moment, it's just
Go on.
Go
on.
There, Adam. He's nipping in your heels there, mate.
And not a lot of help to his partner.
Narleen's gone.
If he's aware that Cross is in second, he can leave him some room on the inside.
Oh, we need this. Come on.
All over the back wheel of Simon.
Come on.
Well, now Crossy's
We're getting back in against you here now, Adam.
It's kind of what I wanted, though. It's kind of what I wanted.
Turned the Heathens deficit into a lead because...
Yeah, great pairing. Great pairing there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you've done well on home show there.
With 9 points from 3 starts.
There we go.
That's the way it finishes.
Well done.
Superb. Absolutely fantastic there.
Simon Cross after
well done.
For the first lap and a half. Eventually gets a comfortable paid win. John Jorgensen for the first time tonight.
Adam Roynon is near enough crying there now. For the first time in the meeting, you are behind by 2 points. You know, team manager, you got the tie on, you got all the kit on. Are you going to be jumping on the bike and getting out there, or are you going to be getting in there as team manager and having a go at the boys?
Yeah, we've got the heats in hand that we can still pull this back, but the tracks is coming towards the Heathens boys now, and they look like they've got the setup right. I think the bees were lucky early on when it was a bit wet and slimy, but no, this is going to be a fight to the end. But we're hanging in there.
They're hanging in there, Garry. You're now in the lead for the first time tonight. You've got to be happy with that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. 2 points in front now. But you know what Speedway's like. It can easily change around. I've had some big pairings to come forward with, so hopefully we can keep going.
Okay, well, before we go into choosing the A, B, C or D for heat number 10, this is the last shout out now. You've only got a couple of minutes, guys, that are in the Premier chat room there with Barry tonight. You've got to get your predictions in for the chance to win 4 DVDs of tonight's races, courtesy of Classic Speedway videos, and you could also win 2 tickets to the 2021 Ben Fun meeting as well. So right now, you've got to put your predictions in and what you think the end result of this meeting will be. And you've got to get them in before tapes up on the very next heat, which is heat number 10, sponsored by the Lifesize Old Gits, believe it or not. Yeah, what a name that is. They've come on board with Virtual Skid to sponsor that in aid of the Ben Fun. So heat number 10, we're going to head back to Garry then. It's your choice. You're 2 points up. A, B, C or D?
I'm going for a C.
Going for C then, and that is going to be heading to 1994 and the British League B meeting. So for the Hammers, we have Greg Hancock and Scott Smith. He's back out again.
Can you believe it?
And for the Bs, we've got Brian Anderson and Ronnie Pedersen. Yeah, so we've got a Pedersen in this one. So, Scott, so far, have you been, Garry, have you been happy with Scott's performance so far for you?
Oh, you know, he was known, for being better towards the end of the meeting. So, he's done pretty well so far. He's had some difficult pairings, so let's just hope that he can keep continuing now with just a few points here and there. I think he'll do okay, but it's going to be a tough race for him.
Certainly a tough race. And of course, Brian Anderson, Ronnie Pedersen, Nicky's brother, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, I think he started Peterborough in the very early days. So
Yeah, for sure, That's my brother,
Hang on. You got the voice off to a T there, Adam. Go on. How are you getting on, Nicky?
Yeah, for sure, I always seem to make the start, but make the first turn first, This is my brother, full gas.
Full gas, win. We're about to find out. Here we go then. Guys, if you're out there, they're even doing impressions for you. That's how much they want you to donate to the text line tonight, isn't it? Make sure you are dialing in those texts and sending in those £5 to the Ben Fund. We're going to head into heat number 10. We'll find out how Ronnie, Brian, Scott and Greg got on.
Next to him, Ronnie Pedersen wears yellow-black.
Good pairing again.
Hancock, the Heathens
I just hope that Ronnie can make a rocket from the outside and
already been out
do this for us.
As we said, this is his fourth outing. Had a rider replacement start in heat
1
number
and 3.
8. This time it's a program 1. Here we go.
Good start again there for us.
Pretty even. Bit of argy-bargy in that first turn.
Hancock gets a good start. There was contact on that first
Got his nose right up there.
Ronnie Pedersen and Scott Smith.
Scott's struggling there at the back again.
The referee might have stopped it and restarted the race, but no.
This is all right. It's a 3-3. We'll take this, given the riders for the heat.
Greg Hancock leads Brian Anderson. Ronnie Pedersen has now.
Yeah, he's getting pretty strung out now. So hopefully the bees can hold this and just see it home, and we can go towards the lap part of the meeting and bang in some heat advantages.
Good rider, wasn't he? I always enjoyed watching him. Very, very good rider.
Yeah, very good.
Very underrated, in my opinion.
It looks like being yet another
I just he can stick to his nice fast style out in front. As long as we stay second and third, get these points.
But at least
that's it. We're happy with that.
And for the first time tonight, they've been in the lead for 2 races on this trot.
3 threes.
3 points to Greg. That takes his personal tally.
After 10 heats, there is 2 points in it. That was a drawn heat. Cradley still in the lead here. Garry, you held it together there. Your man was out front, 3-all. Still happy to be 2 points ahead.
Yeah, definitely so. But, we've got a few heats yet to go. So we better not get the chickens hatched out before needs to be.
Exactly. Few heats to go here. Heat number 11's up next. Gerard Rathbone, of course, he's been very influential and put a lot of time and effort into Speedway over the UK as well. So we thank you for your involvement with Virtual Skid 6 here for the Ben Fund tonight. Of course, John Carpenter, meeting sponsor as well. Speedway Spares, fantastic. So we're going to go to Adam for heat number 11. It's your choice of pick, A, B, C or D.
Right. Well, before I choose the heat, I'd like to just say, if you can text to 70085 and text the word SRBF to help donate a £5, then it would mean everything to the people that receive it, the injured riders. If you could do that, please, then that would be an amazing contribution. So thank you for that. And the piece of paper that I've stolen here happens to be my son's drawing of some man. So he's 3-year-old. I'm guessing that's pretty good. Looks pretty good to me. So yeah, SRBF to 70085. Thank you. And I'm going to go with A. Please.
He's going with A in heat number 11 then. 1993 British League A meeting. For Cradley, we have Simon Cross, you're not going to believe this, and Scott Smith. And for Coventry, oh wow, Hans Nielsen and Andy Meredith.
Andy, come on, Andy.
I don't think I've ever seen someone so elated and yet dejected at the same time there.
Oh no, yeah, I've seen Andy can bring it back. I've only ever seen him ride once in that first ride there, so. earlier in the meeting. So yeah, hopefully the big hands can pull it out and maybe shepherd him home. Let's hope for the best.
That's what he wants there. So your boys this time, Garry, you're up against Hans Nielsen. I mean, what a rider he was.
Oh, absolute king of Speedway, really, other than Ricardson, I'd say, and Greg Hancock maybe. But yeah, he was the one that I used to look at and think, you know, he was the guy that you wanted to be that type of rider, you know, along with, you know, Gunderson of his time.
Did you race against Nielsen at all?
Yeah, I actually, I think I beat him the first time after he was world champion at Bradford. So that were a good scout for me.
Bloody hell. Well done, Garry.
So how about that then?
Steady as you go.
I think you were just thinking, God, get him out of the way.
So let's hit in for heat number 11 then, and let's see if the Bees can claw back this 2-point deficit.
When he raced Hans Nielsen, but I think it's fair to say...
Yeah, it could be a 3-3 written on this. What do you think?
But
I think you could be right, actually. I'm hoping that Scott Smith can really do something now, but he's off the outside, so let's see.
The match points today.
Well, Nielsen.
Oh, he's been left in the wake completely.
Oh.
Look at him, shoulder to shoulder, and they're off.
Crossie is in second to fall there on the second bend. Andy Meredith goes
there we go. Few theatricals going on there in behind.
Oh, it's been stopped.
Shouldn't think so.
But as it's difficult in the sunlight to see if the lights are on.
Oh, he even looked good slowing down, did Hans, didn't he?
Can't believe that.
Yes, he may have got that over the pier. There was not a red light.
What's going to be the decision there? What do you think? What are you going for?
Oh, he had a really bad start, didn't he? Scud, and I think then he jumped up the inside of him, didn't he, after winning the third corner.
Oh, there's a battle for the dirt. Oh, Nielsen's just got him around the outside. Oh, great first turn.
Scott Smith in third place, but
dirt's high, isn't it? Dirt's right, Al.
Simon Cross always seems to put in.
It looks slick now.
He's up against Hans Nielsen.
I hated to ride out there.
And as we come to the midway stage,
Nielsen, that's his favourite position. He looks good out in there. He's just so smooth. He's so collected. He's like you say, he's the master, isn't he? He's the main Dane.
Classic Speedway rider.
He looks
unbelievable, really. He's so stylish, so quick. Crossie's just, you know, getting his points by the look of it. But, you know, at the end of the day, we've got 3-3 there, which hopefully, if Scud stays on, it's a 3-3 to us, so that's good.
We need Nielsen just to feature in some latter races to stand as any sort of chance.
And Andy Smith and Brian Anderson, if they're going to get the match point.
And we're back in the room then after heat number 11. Still another 3-all. 2 points to play. Garry still in the lead here. What a win for Hans Nielsen. Again, absolutely fantastic to watch him ride. Adam.
The main Dane, yeah, really, he's something else, wasn't he? He didn't get to be where he was through not being that good. He was, simply class there, and even a good rider. Was second and third there. They couldn't even look at him and come close. So yeah, he was the utmost professional rider. Especially when I started watching Speedway, he was the guy to sort of look at. I know that Ricardson and stuff took on what he left as time went on, but yeah, very very good to watch that.
Excellent stuff. Well, we are now moving on. We've got 4 heats left. Garry is in the lead by 2. So Bowen Pies. I'm sure Paul Bowen is not only known for On Track, but Virtual Skid 2. Quite a few weeks ago now, he was a star of the show. What a meeting that was back then. And I know a lot of people that have watched him on that Virtual Skid have really got to know Paul. And Adam, you've been around Paul before as well. In the pits, I'm sure. He's a bit of a character, isn't he?
I've been around Paul, tasted his pies. Yeah, Job, like, what a great guy he is. He's a credit and a great addition to the sport. He's came in. I've seen him a few times back in his early days. I gave him some pointers. He took them on board, went out there, and yeah, he's gone from strength to strength. I just hope the sport can keep hold of him, because we need characters like that, and yeah, and players like that. So yeah, they are good.
Exactly. Well, he is sponsoring this heat number 12, so it's great to have Paul Bowen back on board again. So we're going to go over to Garry. It's your choice, A, B, C, or D?
I'm going to go for a B to this heat.
Okay, we're going to go for B, back to 1992, the Gold Cup North meeting. Oh, we got some riders here. Greg Hancock and Gert Hamburg for Cradley. Gary's happy with that. And for Coventry, we have got Rick Miller and Andy Smith.
Oh, tough heat.
It's a great heat that'll be, you know.
This is going to be the heat of the night, I reckon.
I do, actually. I believe so. Rick was a stylish rider. I wouldn't say that he was in the same category as probably Lance King, but he was stylish, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Do you remember him losing the engine at Coventry?
No, tell us.
Probably a bit young to see that, but if you look back in Speedway Star Pictures, do a picture of him. They've got the chassis there, and behind is the engine. It just completely came out. I don't know how that happened, but I've never ever seen it since.
Might be in a quiz somewhere down the road, so I better look into that.
Yeah, unbelievable to see an engine coming out of a bike like that. How on earth it came out, I've no idea. It just completely came out. Yeah, crazy.
All right.
Well, let's hope that didn't happen in this heat. Hey, we see some good racing. So,
well, that's something for the fans. There's something for the fans to now go and research. Instead of just pointing that out.
For sure. Right, heat number 12's up then. We've still got 2 points between you guys, so let's head over and find out what the result is.
Went round the outside of him on the final lap, so Gert with just 3 points from his 2 starts, and seems such a long time since Gert was last out. It is in fact
hopefully Rick and Smudge can pull some out there.
Yellow black.
Smudge has pulled into the outside rut.
I
think Andy's off the inside, and he should make a fairly good start. He's not
quite.
So we've got a 5-1 so far.
Not quite there. Oh dear me. Oh dear.
Great bearing there with Hamburg.
Rick is really piling on the pressure. Yeah, this is good. Whether he can make it stick.
Yes, Smudge is trying to nip up the inside there. Rick's having a good ride up the outside there. He's almost got off him, actually.
Is he going to get him? Oh, it's too early to tell. Oh, he's been forced wide. Shame.
He's in the right place, isn't he? But all the passing used to be sort of there, coming off the third corner.
Oh, Smudger, can he do a last-ditch attempt?
He's having a go up the inside there. Smudger's having a go.
Hancock just in front of Andy.
Great heat there for Hamburg. Teros flying behind there. Look.
Pushed out on that third lap.
Look at that.
To Cradley.
Oh well.
Back in this meeting.
Well, that's not what we wanted at all.
Greg Hancock maintains back.
Well, what can we say? The hammer has fallen so far, and you're 6 points up now. Your boys 5-1 in that heat over Rick Miller. Didn't really see that one coming.
No, but it was an hard one because we thought that Andy Smith could have easily made a good start there off of gate 1. But very, very lucky there. We had a really good partnership there. So we're back in it again, you know, that 5-1, it's looking good for us. But, you know, they're pushing us all the way.
It's a great meeting, nice and tight there. However, having said that, 6 points down now. You had it played against you earlier on, and it went in the way that Garry wanted it. Adam, it's your choice now. Heat number 13, which is sponsored by the Saturday night pork sandwiches.
Right.
Pork sandwiches.
How's your Saturday night pork sandwiches taste there?
Well, hopefully we can do some porking in this one and get a massive heat advantage. It's what we need. It's what we desperately need.
Well, you got a little bit of a helping hand now because you're 6 points down, which means tactical territory, you get the choice to know, do you want the home pairings or the away pairing riders?
You got success, Garry, from the knowing my riders, didn't you? So that was success. So really I should do the same, but I don't do the same. So I'm going to go with, I'll know my riders, please.
There we are, a curveball then for heat number 13. All right, so the choice of riders for the Coventry Bees, either John Jorgensen and Andy Smith, or Tommy Knudsen and John Jorgensen, or Andy Smith and Simon Wigg, or Hans Nielsen and John Jorgensen.
It's got to be the latter there, Hans Nielsen and John Jorgensen, please.
I think Garry could see that coming.
Yeah, definitely.
God, come on.
Okay, so you've gone for D there. British League match back in 1994. Hans Nielsen, John Jorgensen, and you're coming up against Greg Hancock and Billy Hamill.
Oh, for goodness me. What a heat.
What a heat indeed.
This is going to be a monumental scrap, I'm telling you.
So, guys, I want to get your predictions on this one. Garry, how do you see this one going?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really tough heat, is this. And I personally think it's going to be a 3-3. Yeah, very hard pair to be against, and it can go both ways. But let's hope that we can at least share this.
Okay, he wants to share it, he thinks. What about yourself, Adam?
Going up against what was to be Team X-Side and years to come, Hamill and Hancock. That's tough. I've got a feeling it's going to be a 4-2, but I'm not sure either way of which one, who's going to grab the win or pack in the places. So I'm going to hope for a B's 4-2 just to bring it back into some sort of contention.
Gary's having none of that. All right, then, let's head over then. This is heat number 13.
In yellow black, John Jorgensen.
What a heat here. What a heat.
Back there in heat number 6. But
It's all about who's going to make the start. I think I can't see a lot of passing happening. Not with these boys all at top pace for 4 laps.
Hancock on the inside here, so he could make a good start here. And he has, which is good.
Yeah.
5-1 so far. Felix going up there. Felix going up to ride. Let's see if we can do a good side-by-side racing here.
Nielsen needs to split this pairing. They really need to do something here. Well, they're looking for each other. They've got it dialed in. God, that was wide. Has messed it up.
What's happened?
Yes.
Billy's had a...
Brilliant.
Engine's gone.
Nielsen, now he needs to rail him in, wind him in. Oh, he's gone wide as well.
There's Nielsen there with his front spoiler on it as well. The big front spoiler, look.
Would you want to run one of them steady?
No, I think they're just too heavy, don't you, when you get the dirt on it. I think that was the problem.
They look good. Can he wind him in? Can he do it? Not enough. Not enough. Well,
what a shame there.
Damage limitation, that one. I'll take that.
He drifted wide. Whether he...
That was heat number 13. Great racing again there. We are seeing some great racing and some great characters and Speedway riders from years gone past. It's fantastic to see these ride again. However, 2 heats remaining, 6 points in it. And before we head off to heat number 14, who is sponsored by Metro Timber Limited. So we thank them for their sponsorship tonight for heat number 14. And also, of course, got to give a shout out to our meeting sponsors, John Carpenter's Speedway Spares. It doesn't matter whether you want a new bike or you want bike bits or helmet colours or anything like that. Go see John. He's going to sort you out. Great character, great guy, and does a lot for Speedway up and down the country. We've got 2 heats remaining. Heat number 14 now. We're going to go over to Garry. Which would you like, A, B, C, or D?
I'd like an A, please.
Okay, we're going to go A back to 1992. So for Cradley, we have Gert Hamburg and Greg Hancock, and they're going up against Andy Smith and Paul Bentley.
Oh.
Yeah, completely contrasting emotions there.
Yeah.
Go Cradley. Go
On the
Cradley.
race.
Go Cradley.
He's doing a dance and your head's in your hands. What do you think then? What's going through your mind then, Adam?
I've got everything crossed at the minute. Everything.
Okay, what about you, Gary?
I've not got anything crossed. I'm just hoping that that we can just keep going as we are. Even if we're sharing the heats now, that's fine. We're at the end of the meeting almost. The dirt's moving out and it's making it difficult. So let's see how we get on here now.
Let's see how we get on. This is heat number 14.
Tactical substitute Greg Hancock.
Oh, Banger Bentley. I've had a few scraps with him.
I'm sure you have.
Yeah, definitely. But a great rider.
2 points here.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So we
Still
got
very much put Coventry.
Looks ominous for your boys here, to be fair. But especially with the bees being away from home. But yeah, see what we can do.
1 and 3. Come on. Here we go. Great start.
Wow.
Hamburg. He's off. Hamburg's there. He's on his way. The Gertie. Let go. Let's go. Oh, we've got a faller there on the back.
Oh, Smudger.
Get up. Come on. Get up. What's up with you, man?
Oh, he's hurt. Can you not see? He's proper hurt there.
It's a bit of
these two men representing
theatricals going on.
Never mind.
Some theatricals going on here.
Come on, Banger.
Greg Hancock from Gate
Come on, rip that start.
Well, he's made a good start there. Staying on the dirt.
Do repeat the start they made first time out. They need to now
dear
maintain
me.
that for 4 laps because they've already built up 3 lengths.
It's terrible when you come down, isn't it? When you fall down like that, it's slipping off.
It is, but your head goes like that to see where your teammates are.
The Middlesbrough up there in Cleveland.
It's dried up a lot there.
It has, hasn't it? Yeah, Hamburg's he's holding up. He's waiting for Hancock, isn't he?
Refusing to give up.
Very slick. But yeah.
Despite exclusions to get Hamburg early on. Despite Simon
it's not looking good for the bees. Not looking good for the bees.
On the line, they're still not giving up. And they're
This
still
is
in this meeting.
it's long gone, this meeting for us now.
Oh, it's not. Another goal. He's down.
Wow.
How about that? Can you believe it? Come on, get up. You've got to push. Can he push? Can he get back on and get the point?
Is he going to start it? What's going to happen?
He's got to push. He's got to keep the thing going. He's going to go for the point. He's got to do it.
He's going to bump it.
Greg Hancock
it's still a 4-2.
For a point, so
wow, that was unexpected.
He can still get the point, and that's the thing.
He's going to get it.
How about that? That were one crucial point there, absolute crucial point.
Well, the crowd was cheering on for him to get up and remount and push round if necessary to get that.
Well, who would have seen that coming then? Greg Hancock hitting the dirt there. They had a 5-1 guaranteed. However, got to say that him pushing off and getting back and getting that point sealed it for yourself, because that means now that no matter what happens in Heat 15, you have won the meeting for Cradley, Garry.
Yay!
Adam, you're racing for pride now.
Can't believe it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like that, but yeah, you can celebrate with your pizza. Yeah, I wasn't hungry anyway.
No pizza for you, mate.
Well, having said that, we have still got one race remaining here to finish off tonight's meeting. So the result is not quite in yet, but the meeting result, the winners have been chosen and are Cradley. So before we move into heat number 15, of course, sponsored by Wessex Marine. The Wessex Marine, David Adams, great supporter of Speedway up and down the country for many, many, many years. So it's great to have David and Wessex Marine involved in this one. And again, one more time, guys, that text number is still on screen there. Garry, have you got that text number there? Can you show the people out there? Can you tell them what it is?
Yeah, sure. Hopefully we can get everybody pledging to Speedway Riders Benevolent Fund 70085. So that's Speedway Riders Benevolent Fund 70085. Keep pledging. SRBF 70085. Keep it coming, guys. We really need it. Thank you.
That's right. Come on, guys. Let's give it one more big push. We can do some great things for the Speedway Riders Benevolent Fund right here tonight while we're sat at home watching this with these guys.
Every little helps. Every little helps.
It certainly does. It certainly does. Heat 15. Adam, we're coming back to you now. But before we go any further, just before we do Heat 15, I want to ask Adam, obviously you've had that big crash back in 2018. We know you're on the spanners as well. I think you do a little bit of work with Danny King there. What's your plans when racing starts? You're going to get back on the bike?
Oh, if the opportunity is there, definitely. Yeah, Speedway's in my blood, and once you've saw in that Speedway sort of surroundings at a track or something, then you instantly just want to get back on a bike and get at it. And I'm still young enough; I can still mix it with the best of them. So yeah, but right now my focus is with Danny, and it's all about making him a two-time British champion again.
So that's what you're going to be up with. And I do believe, Garry, that there's some good things happening for yourself at the moment. I know that we've spoken, and of course Barry as well. Pretty soon there's going to be some good things happening, and people are going to be able to tap into your knowledge and your experience of all those years racing.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that, it's close to my heart. It's all I've ever wanted to do. I still want to be involved whatever I can, whether it's with the young kids or management, anything like that. That's where my heart is, and I just want to be, part of it. And whatever I can be doing, I want to be doing that.
And I would just like to say on behalf of myself and Barry as well, for you guys out there, these are two of the nicest guys in British Speedway, believe me. And it's an absolute pleasure to have you guys involved with us and taken on as well.
Thank you.
So great to have you involved with Virtual Skid, guys, and of course with the Ben Fund as well. So thanks ever so much for your time. One more heat of racing, Heat 15. Adam, you've got the tactical. Do you want to know the home riders or the away riders?
What's the point? We've lost. What's the point?
I don't be like that now. Come on.
Yeah, let's make it interesting. How about you can mix them up and tell me the home riders and the away riders, and I'll just pick which I think sounds best for us.
I'll tell you what, seeing as this is a meeting sponsored for the Ben Fund there, I'm going to throw this in. Adam, how much do you want to know the riders to both the home and the away riders for this last heat? How much do you want that?
More than all the Team China.
Do you think it's worth £5 of your hard-earned money?
Definitely. £5 of my money goes to every heat that I do goes towards the Ben Fund and then the insurance. So yeah, definitely £5. That's definitely a welcome.
Right, that's it then. We're going to get you to pick up a mobile phone after this. We're going to get you to text that number yourself. That's cost you £5. Hey, I don't mind. We're in the game to try and do the best for it.
That's the number there. It's all ready for you there, Adam.
Got it here.
SRBF, come on. 70085. Keep that money coming, please.
No problem.
There we go. Right, okay, well, that said then, you've bought your way into this final then. Here we go. Here are the pairings. This is the pairings for heat number 15. So, Simon Cross and Peter Narlin versus Hans Nielsen and Brian Anderson. Next one, Greg Hancock and Simon Cross versus Brian Anderson and Hans Nielsen. Billy Hamill and Greg Hancock versus Brian Anderson and John Jorgensen. Or the last one, Gert Hamburg and Greg Hancock versus Tommy Knudsen and John Jorgensen.
I'm going to go with B. That sounds like a tasty lineup, that.
He's going with B then. So we have got for Creeley, we have Greg Hancock and Simon Cross. And they're going up against Brian Anderson and Hans Nielsen. What a Heat 15 this is going to be.
Can you believe it? Forget the old pork stuffing. They're going for the Danish bacon butty.
Right, guys, let's head in for Heat 15. This is the last race of Virtual Skid 6. Let's make it a good one. Let's see who wins this one.
By the Heathens, if they're going to take anything from this morning's match.
Hans is going to just go in this one. I can see it. Look at him. He's all ready to rock and roll.
He's ready.
His body language is there already. He's not going to be beaten, but he's off at gate 3.
Tough one. Tough one, Scott. He's going on some fresh dirt.
Missed it, but he's going on the outside.
Hancock gets the best start, looks for his partner, but his
it's a 3-3 so far.
It's Hancock from Anderson.
Go on, Hans. Keep it one in there.
In amongst the points. It's imperative for the Heathens that he does. Hancock's got the race won.
Wow.
At least he's well over in the lead.
Come on, Crossy. You're the man.
Try and defend second and third place, I'm sure. They'll let Hancock go. Nielsen's on the outside of his.
He's thrown it away.
Can Simon Cross get past?
Can't believe it.
If he can get,
I thought Hans would have him.
Place, the Heathens will draw this
the Heathens are marching on here, but Nielsen is making a last-ditch challenge here. He's not giving it up. He's going for it.
Greg's got a great line there, and he knows that he's got to go really, really deep to pass him, and it's not going to be possible.
He's very clever, isn't he? Yeah, he's.
Hans is doing a wheelie now. He said, "That's it."
Yeah, that's it. It's done. Hancock,
how about that?
He's just thinking of his 4 world titles there, isn't he?
3-3. Shame about that with my mate Crossy there.
The crowd, the Heathens fans go wild.
Okay, there we are. That's 15 heats of racing for Virtual Skid 6. The final result, 49 to Cradley, West Midlands, Valentin and Detail Service, and 41 to the Coventry Nuneaton Speedway Supporters Club Bees. There we are. Look, he's got his own little champagne. He's going for the bottle, and we got the violin out.
Got a drink, mate. I'll give you a little slip of it. How's that?
What a great night we've had here for Virtual Skid 6 in aid of the Ben Fund. Look, he sweats so much, he's taking his suit off now. I bet he wishes he could jump on the bike and have ridden that last one for him. Hang on, where's Garry gone off to? He's gone off. Gary's for the off. Oh, look at this. This is steady as you go. He's done it. He is the winner, the victor. He's won many times on track, but tonight he has been the team manager. And if he's going to show anybody the way to take Cradley over Coventry for a win, absolutely fantastic. Guys, very, very shortly we're going to bring Barry back into the room and he's going to finish things off with you guys here. But I just have had a ball tonight. Thanks ever so much for joining in. And you know what? I think we've done really well. We've raised the awareness for the Speedway Riders Benevolent Fund. And of course, hopefully we've raised a good amount of money throughout as well. Now, once this concludes, of course, we will have someone that will be joining us here in the Zoom room, and they would have been putting their silent auction bids into the virtual skid at yahoo.com. Of course, the bidding is now over. You will know who you are. We will be seeing you shortly, and we can talk about how it went tonight and obviously your careers and so on as well. All that's left for me to say is we've had another cracking night here tonight. Great speedway, great banter, great people, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. In fact, I think sometimes I like to just sit back and watch it myself. Thanks ever so much, guys. You've been great.
I'd just like to thank you guys for putting this on. I know that it's been challenging times for people in lockdown and missing Speedway, for example. So having this as a go-to thing with great guests on up to now, it's been welcome. So thank you very much, you guys, for putting it on, and thank you for putting this on tonight for the Ben Fund. It's definitely raised awareness and it's kept the Ben Fund alive. And thanks for Steady for beating me. Yeah, I didn't expect that one. I was hoping for a draw, if I'm fair, but no, well done to Steady. You deserve that one.
Cheers, Adam. Yeah, it's been great. It's been nice to be part of your career as well. A great friend as well. And thanks to everyone again. Like you say, keep pledging for the SB at Speedway Riders Benevolent Fund 70085. Thanks again. It's been brilliant.
Thanks ever so much, guys. But you stay there. I'm off out, and we're going to bring Barry back in again. Thanks, guys. Stay safe, yeah, and keep smiling.
Oh, God, that was ace. I loved it. I was shouting at the screen. You were making me laugh. I couldn't believe it. And it was like, I was filling it all out. And unfortunately, after, about heat 11, heat 12, when he got that 5-1, it was downhill from there. But just to show you the amount of work that Andy puts into it, these are all the heats all nicely done out for me. And actually, just so you know, Cradley could have won 65-25 tonight. I don't know if you can see that on the high list.
Oh, right.
But also, Coventry could have won 60-30 if you'd have picked the right things. So really, anyone could have won. It's absolutely brilliant. And I've got to say, Andy's been blasting out the thanks to everybody, but that guy does a marvellous job with this, and the effort that he puts into it to make sure it's right is just unbelievable. And he did a great show again tonight. So
thank you, Andy.
Yeah, thank you, Andy.
Thank you. Yeah, cheers.
So you guys have now got to pick your riders of the night. So who was it for you, first of all, Adam?
Go to Garry first. Let me think about it.
All right, Garry, who was yours?
Well, all my pairings, I had some good ones. But I think overall, with the riders that I watched in the meeting, it had to be, even though it didn't win the last heat, Crossy was my rider for the night.
Crossy, yeah. And how about
good
you,
friend
Adam?
as well.
So I'm going to go. He kept us in there early doors. So I'm going to say Sean Tacey.
Yeah, good choice. Yeah, I like Sean.
Good choice. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's my rider of the night.
And of course, we thanked David Adams from Wessex Marine as well for making another donation just for that. We do. The lines are still open and will still be open for some time. So remember, if you can, to text SRBF to 70085 or SRBFNOINFO if you don't want to hear any more about, or not anymore, but to be received further updates. I just want to thank you guys both for taking part tonight. It's real, isn't it? I say every fortnight when we do it that it's real. You feel real. My emotion was there. And the sad thing for you, Adam, is I've actually got the result of each heat. And so when you pick the one, I'm going, pick B, you'll come back into it. And you didn't. It was like, oh no. So it is just brilliant. I love doing these. They're great fun.
I thought, early on, I kept getting the same ones because, I kept getting scud, and my pairings were the same. And I kept thinking, is it going to mix it up a little bit more? But it worked out all right. But probably by us going behind helped us. And, I had a great pairing, which put me forward, which...
I couldn't have gone behind at a worse time for Heat 13 at home with Cradley. God, that was tough, but no, enjoyable meeting. Some great heats there. I'm glad to see that Speedway has progressed with the racing aspect. It's a lot closer nowadays. It was tough back in them days, but now it's kind of easier, but it's a lot more manageable for riders. They're a lot more sort of at one with the bike and stuff. So it was good to watch them all classic heats.
I mean, the thing that I learned from that as well was how brilliant the stuff that Andy Hague does for us on the island when he's filming the meetings and stuff like that. I mean, it's just great. And whilst it's great to watch from yesterday, the progress that we've done, regards the production of the videos, and not the videos anymore, but DVDs, has just gone up a level. So that's all great. I just want to round off by thanking everybody that sponsored us today. I won't run through the list if you don't mind, because there's so many of you. And just to let you know that Andy and I appreciate it massively. And Jan Steckman at Classic Speedway Videos, who enabled us to do this today. And hopefully we'll be able to work with him some more in the future, because hopefully he'll have watched this and really enjoyed it. And just finally, the last words to you guys. What did you think of it? Being in the seat.
I enjoyed it. I was very nervous at the start of it, obviously. I spoke to you about this before, but it was great to do it. And, I'd certainly do it again if I was given the opportunity. And I'd like to thank Adam as well. You're very respectful. And, as I said from day one, we've been through, quite a lot as riders, and why wouldn't you have that respect for each other? But it goes both ways. Thank you.
I'd just like to echo that. Garry's, when I was a junior, like coming up and about, he sort of like took me to one side and said, look, if you can do this, this and this, he'll help you out and do this. And I've seen him at different tracks across the country. Not that I was stalking him or anything, but it was great to get some sort of guidance off of someone of his caliber. Such a great rider, great guy, and to go up against him tonight, I didn't want to get beat, but that's why I was hoping for the draw. I wanted to win, like I want to win everything, but no, it's been a fair result. Two clubs very close to my heart, where Coventry, I've been signed to them since I was 16, and Cradley, I've been captain with them for a few seasons. Never managed to lift the big trophies, but still a club very close to my heart. So whichever way it went tonight, I was happy with the result. And thank you for inviting us. And once again, it was all for the Ben Fund. A great worthy cause. And thank you to everyone that's donated. It definitely, your money goes a long way. I can vouch for that. I'm sure Garry can as well. It's very heartfelt. Thank you.
Yeah, and I know from speaking with Paul Ackroyd, he'll be very pleased with what we've done today, and very proud of you too, for sure, and the performance that you put out, and I'm sure that will have raised a very healthy sum.
Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul. Well, thanks to everybody really that's involved with the Ben Fund. Really, it's not just Paul. There's lots of people, obviously, when they've got the meetings. So
no, definitely, there's a whole team around, and in fact, that team is also increasing as well. Too. So, and they're doing a great job. They're refurbishing the website, the Facebook page, Twitters. It's all coming along great. So, that's all good stuff.
Thank you.
So, my summing words are thanks to everybody again that sponsored us. Thanks to the fantastic Andy Hague and all the work that he does. Thanks to you guys, and keep the text coming in. And if you're watching this after Thursday the 16th, the text will still be open, so you can continue to text and get those funds coming through where they are so badly needed. So that's it. That's it for Virtual Skid 6. Virtual Skid 7 will be announced in due course, and I'm sure that's going to be equally a good cracker. And so, as usual, I have to do my Warrior W, because I'm so proud of the Isle of Wight, and we'll see you all soon. Take care.
Hasta luego.
Thank you. Bye now.